The machine designated as Cabinet 19 produced a startup chime at 7:41 on the evening of the third day, 12 years after its power cable had been cut and coiled behind the unit. Dorian Achterberg took the inventory contract because it paid better than his usual repair jobs, and because the Halverson Amusement Hall on Cinder Lane had been sealed since before he moved to the county. The building smelled of mildew and old carpet glue. Sunlight came through the boarded windows in narrow yellow strips, and the floor was tacky under his boots where soda had dried into something permanent. He worked alone, logging each cabinet by serial plate, noting rust, water damage, missing components. The first crack was small. On his clipboard he had marked Cabinet 19 as non-functional, screen cracked, no power. That evening, packing up, he heard 3 ascending tones from the back corner. He assumed a residual charge in a capacitor, the kind of thing that discharges once and dies. He wrote it down and thought little of it. The chime returned the next night and the night after. Cabinet 19 had no maker's plate. The cabinet art had faded to grey silhouettes. The screen, when it lit, showed no game and no title, only a high-score table, and where the numbers should have been there were dates. Beside each date sat a set of initials. The oldest entry read, March 9th, 1991. The newest, when Dorian first photographed it, read a date 4 days prior. He returned 6 days later. A new line had appeared. Initials RHM and that day's date. Dorian found the arcade's original surveillance recorder in a manager's closet, a bank of tapes labelled by quarter. He spent 2 weeks restoring the playback deck. What he pulled from the footage did not follow the pattern he expected. Across different years, individual visitors would appear inside a building that records showed as closed and locked. Each stood before Cabinet 19. Each stared at the screen for between 4 and 9 minutes. None touched the controls. Each then walked directly to the exit and left. He traced 3 of the names against public listings. A woman named Prudence Octoloni, whose initials matched an entry from 2003, was still reachable by phone. She was polite and confused. She remembered visiting the arcade once as a girl with her cousin. She did not remember which year. When Dorian asked what she recalled of that evening, she was quiet for a while. "I got home and it was almost midnight," she said. "I only went in for a minute. My mother was furious. I never could explain the time." 2 other names he located gave versions of the same account. Hours gone. No memory of them. The workshop belonged to a restorer named Cato Feldhaus Rennick, who had rebuilt cabinets for 30 years and had never refused a machine. They moved Cabinet 19 on a Tuesday. Feldhaus Rennick disconnected the internal battery, a corroded cell reading 0.0 volts on the meter. He removed the transformer. He unsoldered the board. Over 4 days they reduced the cabinet to its individual parts, laid across 2 steel tables and 1 plastic bin, wires labelled, boards bagged. At 7:41 that evening, the 3 ascending tones played from the bin. Feldhaus Rennick measured the workshop temperature at 62 degrees and noted it in his log because he did not know what else to record. He did not want the components in his building. He asked Dorian to take them back. Dorian drove to the Halverson Hall one final time to return the parts to their corner. The corner was where he had left it, the outline of the cabinet still visible in the cleaner square of floor. Inside that square, scratched into the concrete with something narrow and hard, were 2 letters and a date. The letters were DA. The date was the following day. He photographed it, then stood for a while longer than he meant to. When he checked his phone in the truck, it read 9:17. He had entered the building at 6:30. Cato Feldhaus Rennick has not answered calls since.